Clara Vance had learned the hard way that silence could bruise deeper than words. When Elias left, he did it quietly, like a door closing without a click. No explanation, no argument, only distance that grew until it felt normal to wake without him. In the months that followed, Clara rebuilt herself with small acts of kindness she had once reserved for others. She watered her plants even when she felt dry inside, cooked warm meals for one, smiled at strangers, and forgave herself for loving someone who did not know how to stay. She read about avoidant hearts not to label Elias, but to understand why she had felt invisible. The knowledge softened her anger into compassion, though it did not erase the ache. Then, one ordinary afternoon, her phone buzzed. His name appeared like a ghost. The message was careful, almost polite, as if he were asking directions instead of asking to return. Clara set the phone down and breathed. She remembered the old pattern. His pull, her patience, his retreat. Kindness, she realized, did not require reopening a wound. It required honesty wrapped in gentleness. She took a walk before responding, letting the city remind her that life continued. Children laughed in a park, an elderly couple shared a bench. Clara thought about boundaries as a form of care. She could be kind without abandoning herself. When she returned home, she wrote slowly. She thanked him for reaching out and acknowledged the courage it might have taken. She told him she hoped he was well. Then she named the truth without accusation. When he left, it had taken her a long time to feel steady again. She had learned to choose consistency and safety. She was not available to reopen a relationship that had taught her to doubt her worth. She wished him healing and clarity. She read the message twice, ensuring it held no sharp edges. Pressing send felt like placing a stone back into a river, firm, calm, irreversible. Elias replied with confusion, then apology, then longing. Clara did not rush. She remembered nights she had waited for him to choose her. Now she chose herself. She answered once more, reiterating her boundary with warmth. She refused to debate the past, refused to promise the future. Kindness, she had learned, did not mean endless access. It meant clean endings. After that, she put the phone away and made tea. The evening settled gently around her. Clara felt sadness, yes, but also pride. She had rejected him the right way, not with cruelty or silence, but with respect for both of them. She slept that night without the familiar knot in her chest, knowing she had honored the woman she had become. Weeks later, Clara encountered reminders everywhere. A song Elias used to play, the cafe where they once planned trips they never took. Each memory arrived with less sting. She practiced kindness daily, especially toward herself. When friends asked why she hadn't given him another chance, she answered simply that love must be safe to be generous. She volunteered at a community center, teaching writing to teens who struggled to trust their voices. She told them stories about endings that were also beginnings. One evening, a student asked if it was ever okay to say no to someone you loved. Clara smiled and said yes, when no protects the love you owe yourself. Elias sent one final message months later, thanking her. He said her honesty had helped him see his patterns. Clara did not reply, not out of punishment, but because the conversation had ended where it needed to. She hoped he would learn to stay. She hoped she would continue to choose herself. Kindness, she now understood, was not a soft word. It was a strong practice. Time continued its patient work. Clara's life filled with steady joys, morning light on her desk, laughter shared with friends, the quiet confidence of keeping promises to herself. When new love appeared, it did not rush. It listened. It stayed present during discomfort. Clara recognized the difference immediately. She did not tell this love about Elias in detail. The past no longer needed rehearsal. What mattered was how she responded when old patterns knocked. She had learned to answer with compassion and closure. On the anniversary of the day Elias returned, Clara wrote a letter she never sent. She thanked the version of herself who had chosen clarity over chaos. She forgave the version who had waited too long. She sealed the letter and placed it in a drawer, not as a keepsake, but as a marker of growth. Rejecting someone kindly had not made her cold, it had made her whole. And in that wholeness, she found a gentler world, one where love did not disappear, and when it did, it left without taking her with it.